So why pick on agriculture? Why does Daniel Quinn look at the way we produce our food and say that that is the root cause of all the ills, the social ills, the ecological ills of civilization? Because, it seems like there's all these other things. There's consumerism, there's egoism, there's war, there's, class stratification because of the economic system. Why pick on the way we produce food? Well, if you look at the more existential uh, levels of human life, food and water, that's the base level. That's the most important thing. It's the base rung of the ladder. And that base rung, that foundation of not just agriculture, but since the Industrial Revolution, a technologized agriculture, factory farming. Um, it's the commodification of food, which is really we're commodifying our own bodies, our health, and it's very difficult to reach down to these roots of our food because we don't think about food anymore, especially in America and in the developed world. Food is a foregone conclusion for most of us. You know, we go pick it up at some fast food place, or we go to a restaurant and have it served to us, or we go to the supermarket and we buy it off the shelf. We have 25 varieties of cheese to choose from. Now that's freedom, right? But the problem is the amount of energy that goes into producing a can of corn on the grocery store shelf is so much greater than the amount of energy expended by a small group of hunter-gatherers who did do a little bit of farming, sure, but they didn't have to work as hard. There weren't so many steps involved in not only growing the corn, but packaging the corn, shipping the corn to the distributor, shipping the corn to the grocery store, stocking it on the shelf. All of these steps, not only do they waste energy, the fossil fuel consumption involved in shipping food such huge distances so that, huge factory farms can produce food for the opposite side of the country, the opposite side of the world, and the food is just shipped over, prepackaged, and stuffed with preservatives and all kinds of artificial crap to make it last long enough and taste good enough to actually be eaten. And so we don't realize how much energy is being consumed to provide us food in this way. If we could live in small communes, grow our own food, it's just the lifestyle that we would lead would be so much more leisurely. I don't think we quite realize it. I mean, people say, oh, civilization is what gave man all this leisure time to start, doing philosophy and science and advancing and progressing, because before he didn't have any time because he was just always trying to survive and find food. That's total bullshit. That's not true. Like, legitimately, uh, anthropologists have studied this, and the amount of free time that hunter-gatherer societies had is just enormous compared to the modern industrial world where people work 60 hours a week just to get by. And the reason that there were philosophers and scientists and these people with all this leisure time in civilization is because it creates this class structure where, the 2% at the top who own slaves and who get their food provided for them and can just go to the grocery store and pick it up, they live on top of this mass of other people that are working to put the food on the shelves. So it's a very uneven system. And sure, the 2% at the top are living a great life. The pharaoh is kicking back and relaxing, and life is good. But the slaves, the kingdom itself, is struggling to support all that consumerism. And the United States has a huge middle class, and we all get to consume all of these goods. And so we think that we have all this freedom and the availability of technology and the ease of life because of all of these great things that we have, and we never have to worry about food and all of this. But there are certain hidden aspects, emotional instabilities that underlie all of this consumerism, that they're unconscious, but still they affect us. You know, cancer rates haven't skyrocketed in the last couple decades for no reason. It's because we're more stressed out than ever. Our food is more packed with chemicals, and our meat is injected with hormones and antibiotics, and our fruits have pesticides and all kinds of genetic alterations to make them immune to bugs, and all of these very amazing, scientifically amazing things, but that we don't fully understand what they're actually doing to us. We think that progress means more money in the bank. The metaphor is wealth is health, and the more wealth you have, the healthier you are. But when the amount of work and pain and suffering and stress and emotional sterility, that goes into it ends up costing more than the money you make. Money is just paper, and the products that it buys are just getting shoddier and shoddier. And so wealth does not equal health. Well-being is something totally different than economic status. And one of the things I really, really hate about our current civilization, whether it's capitalism or whatever, it's that we all reduce everything to the economy. The news, they're always talking about, well, is the economy good? If the economy's good, then hey, humanity's progressing and everything's fine and it's going to be okay. But what they don't realize is the economy does good when we're at war. The economy does good when there's more pollution. The economy does good when more people are dying of disease. All of these things increase the gross domestic product. They make it seem as though our economy is creating more wealth. And then wealth is health, apparently. But see, these things, they're not connected that way. And we're totally misunderstanding the nature of nature. Because we are animals. We're animals. We're monkeys. We're not special. I mean, certainly we have some very intelligent capabilities, but that intelligence has become so disassociated from our bodies and from our environment, our ecosystem, that we're destroying ourselves and we don't even realize it. And, reducing it all to agriculture, I don't like reductionism, and that's not the only problem, but it does seem to be, it does seem to play a big role in what's going on. And, all I ask is that we consider that and that we look at that and we really try to figure out if the way that we eat nowadays, where we don't even consider where the food on our plate at dinner time comes from, is that really the way we want to eat and live? It's not the way I want to eat and live.